guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Emma, and today, as you can see from the title, I hope people say that, but as you can see from the title, I will be talking about my experience as a Marine girlfriend during the boot camp phase of your significant other's military career. So to give a little backstory, I started dating my boyfriend Cameron back in September of 2018, and I knew from the beginning that he was going into the military. It wasn't something that I was like really scared of. I came from a military family. My grandfathers were both in the military, my dad was in the military, so I was pretty familiar with hearing stories about what the military lifestyle was going to be like. However, living it and experiencing it is a completely different story, especially for the Marines, because no one in my family had ever been in the Marines. So basically, Cameron left about 2.5 weeks after high school graduation. So we graduated the first week of June. Then we went to senior week together, which was so cool. And then we had 1 week at home, and then he left June 23rd for boot camp. So I guess I'll just start from the beginning of what I was expecting. I was expecting to really struggle through those 3 months. So Marine boot camp is 13 weeks, so basically 3 months, and they don't have phones, access to their cell phones or any phones in general, no access to email or anything like that, and they only get 2 phone calls towards the end. So basically our only form of communication is letters. So I was really scared because I had never gone more than like 2 weeks without seeing him. We lived about 45 minutes apart away from each other, so we were used to not seeing each other every day, but we were not used to not talking every single day. I'm thankful for not living right next to each other because it prepared us a little bit more for being long distance, so we kind of understood how to not be right next to each other. But not talking is a completely different story. So I kind of pretended like it wasn't happening for like the entirety of a relationship before he was leaving. I knew it was happening, and I was prepared for him to go. I was so proud of him, and he was so excited. Okay, well, excited is a strong term. He was ready to go. And so yeah, I was less ready for him to leave, but with the support of my family and obviously him, I was okay. And I was not expecting to get as many letters from him as I did end up getting. So that was a really nice surprise. So I started writing letters the day he left. I wrote my first letter, and you don't get their address for about 2 weeks. We got ours a little bit early, so we got ours like a week and a half, and this is when having good relationships and good connections with their recruiter comes in handy, because they get it a little bit sooner than we get it. They get it first, and then they have to give it to the family, because I'm obviously not direct family. I had to get it from his mom, so we were like both pestering his recruiter for like a week, basically being like, when do we get his address? We want to start sending letters. So we ended up getting his address about a week and a half after he left, so like the first week of July. But I had been writing letters up until that point, so I didn't want to like overwhelm him by sending like 9 letters in one day, so I sent like 4 I think the first day, and then I sent 3 more the next day, and then I sent 2 I think the following day, and I was caught up or something by then, I don't know. But I did in fact write him every single day he was gone. I wrote 81 letters, a little excessive. Not everyone has the time to do that, but for me it was over summer break. I wasn't working over break because I was traveling a lot with my family. So we actually left the day after he left for DC, and then we came home for 2 days, and then we went to New York City because my dad was working. So my mom and I tagged along to get me out of the house, to get my mind off of things. Basically everything I saw reminded me of him somehow, which was nice in some ways, but also kind of sad and like hard to deal with at moments. But before he left, my aunt gave me this, I have it somewhere, I'll insert a picture here if I can find one, of oorah. So the Marine Corps like chant is oorah, some like other branches are hoorah and ooh, yeah, I don't know what the other ones are, but the Marine Corps is oorah. So my aunt gave me this little stuffed baby Hulk. It was like kind of a joke when Cameron was leaving that this baby Hulk was Cameron before he left and he was gonna come home as the real Hulk. Yeah, I don't know. She, love you, Pibby. But so we ended up doing like a flat Stanley thing over the summer where we would take oorah everywhere we went and would take funny pictures with him. And it was a really nice way to kind of feel connected to Cameron, and when he got home I ended up showing him all of the pictures. And so that was fun. But yeah, so I just tried to stay as busy as I could, especially in the beginning, when I was still getting used to him being away. And it was definitely a hard first couple weeks, but after that I really got in the groove of things. I got comfortable with writing letters, so I would write a letter every night, and literally some days I would write, sorry my life's boring, hopefully I'll write more tomorrow, and then other days I would have so much to write about. And he got a little upset with me when he came home for this, but I did not tell him anything bad that happened. If I had a headache, I didn't tell him. If I got sick, I didn't tell him. If whatever happened bad, I didn't tell him, because I wanted my letters to be fully positive and just radiate encouragement and happiness and love, and I didn't want him to be worrying about me because he had enough to worry about himself. So I didn't tell him about the beginning of school and how hard it was of a transition for me coming to college and everything like that. I didn't want to tell him because I didn't want to worry him. So I told him when he got home, obviously. But yeah, so my letters were filled with words of encouragement. About a month in, I started including a Bible verse in every one of my letters. And I would try to find the most encouraging Bible verses I could, and I didn't really want to take them out of context, so sometimes I have to give like a little bit of a backstory to it to explain, but just so he would have more words of encouragement and just positivity in his letters. That was, for me, that was my job. My job was to write to him. His job was to focus on getting through boot camp. I didn't expect him to send as many letters back. I ended up getting, I think, 15 letters back from him. Not entirely sure. Some of them were super short, like less than a paragraph of writing. Some of them were longer. It just depended on how much time he had to write the letters and what was going on. Yeah, but I think the longest stretch I went without a letter was like 2 weeks or something. And because of the mail system there is a little bit backed up, it depends on like what they're doing, if they get mail that day, if they can send it out. So on average, I calculated it from the best I could. It took 3 days to get from me in Pennsylvania, or I was in New York and DC, and then also up in Rochester, New York, which is where I go to school. It took 3 days on average to get to him. I also used Sandbox, which is a really, really, really good resource if you need to get information to them like as quickly as possible. It costs like $3.50 per letter, which is obviously more than a 25-cent stamp or something, but there were times when I would forget to send a letter, so I would send one over Sandbox, or I would just want to be able to tell him something like faster, and so I would send it over Sandbox. I only sent, I think, 4 letters through Sandbox, app that's designed for military families and delivering mail. And so basically you type it online, you submit it, and they print it and mail it for you. And it gets to them by the next day, which is really, really nice. It was so the best feeling in the world was walking outside and seeing the little envelopes. They're like this big with the Marine Corps stamp on the left side up at the return address area. That was just the best feeling. I highly recommend sending them pre-addressed envelopes because the bootcamp addresses are like 5 lines. They're so annoying to write, and he has to write my address and his return address. And because I have more time on my hands, and especially over the summer, I didn't have a problem pre-addressing some envelopes, so I sent him like 6. I sent him 1 pre-addressed envelope. I was like, do you like this? Do you want me to continue doing this? Because I didn't want to send him a bunch if he wasn't going to use them. And he was like, yes, please send more. So I sent him like, I think 8 or 9 pre-addressed envelopes, and he used all of them, and I started getting mail faster because of that, because he could just write whatever he wanted to, stick it in an envelope, and send it. I highly recommend sending that. Having things to look forward to every couple weeks or even just every week is such a great way to like get through the end of each week. And you can also, I've seen like little jars where you can move the pebble over for how many weeks you have or days. That's really cute. I had just a calendar that I crossed off the days. And it's just so rewarding just to cross off another day after the end of each day, because it's just like one day closer. And this is not something that like a ton of people can relate to and that they'll understand, but for those of you who are going through it, those of you who have gone through it or are going to go through it, it's such a great community of women and families and men who have girlfriends there, that really uplift each other. I got really close and still am super close with a good friend of mine, Caitlin. Her boyfriend was down in the same platoon and everything as Cameron was, and it was so nice to have someone to just text and be like, oh my gosh, I miss him so much, because you don't want to like be that girl that just always talks about her girlfriend. I was really tried not to be that person, because like I have a life and a personality outside of my boyfriend, and I want people to know that and see that when they meet me. I don't want them to just think that all I care about is my boyfriend, because yes, he's an important part of me, but he is not everything. Shocker, I know. But having someone that you can just confide in and that really understands what you're going through is so beneficial. I recommend joining the Facebook groups you can, finding girls on Instagram. That's what I did. I stalked a lot of people. Trying to find other girls who were, who had boyfriends or friends or brothers or whoever down at Paris Island at the same time that Cameron was down there, because having those girls to talk to was so nice. Planning for family day and graduation. I flew down on a Wednesday night because we had family day on Thursday and then graduation Friday. And so you want to make sure you book everything very far in advance, but make sure if you're buying a plane ticket or you're booking a hotel room that buy the insurance, because you never know if they get injured, if they get sick. For me, there was a hurricane and we were really worried that was gonna bug back graduation, because you never know what's gonna happen. You know it's a set date, but you never know if they're going to graduate on that set date, on that set date. So you wanna try to make sure that you're not going to lose all your money. So definitely get flight insurance, make sure your Airbnb is flexible, your hotel is refundable, whatever, so you can change it and you are not stuck in a panic without a place to stay or a plane to get on, or you're like out of a couple $100s. So another really fun thing is making signs. I made a sign for family day. You can keep pictures. I'll put a picture somewhere of my sign that I made. I got a cute shirt, and I was kind of matching with Caitlin. We met up when we went down, because at that point she had moved down to Virginia Beach with her family, and so we met up when we were down there because she was with her boyfriend's family. And so I wore a shirt that said he's worth the wait. It was a little Marine shirt I got off of Etsy. Make sure you order those really far in advance if you're going to get a Marine shirt, because especially if they're off of Etsy, because the store I ordered mine from closed. And I was in a panic for like a week and a half because I was like a month out, and sometimes Etsy things can take a month to get to you. It's fine. I got a shirt. It was really cute. And Yeah, I also got a little bow. I can also insert a picture of that. And Kayla and I also got matching bows, and they had our boyfriend's last names on them. And yeah, so that was really exciting. It was so fun to like dress cute and everything. And then on graduation, I wore a dress and heels. Like it was like a summery, flowy dress. You don't have to wear anything like that. You can wear jeans, but like I wanted to like look cute, so also the excuse to buy another dress. So I was really happy about that because it was September, so it was just still really warm down there, which was really nice. I know that sometimes it gets really cold, but like in the winter, but we got a really good date because it wasn't too hot, it wasn't too cold, it was beautiful and sunny, and it was just perfect. One thing that I learned the hard way is make sure that as the girlfriend, you're not like all over them. One, you can't show physical affection, like PDA. You can like for like a hot second because obviously it's family day that you can run up and kiss them and yada yada yada. But you have, when they're walking, you have to hold their left arm, and you can't hold their hand, you can hold their arm, like link your, I can't show that. You can like link your arm, but you can't hold hands, and because they have to be able to salute if needed, to like a higher up. So that was really hard for me because that was the first time I had ever had to do that. So it's like, family day is a whole host of emotions because you're so happy to see them and you're so excited, but you're also trying to be respectful of their space and you're trying to like relearn how to like be next to each other, and it's just a very emotional day. So go in and don't hold yourself to high expectations of how you're going to feel. Don't set yourself up with how you feel like you're supposed to feel or what you're supposed to do, because there is no like, so just go in with low expectations. Make sure you know who's gonna get the first hug. It's a little story time. We talked about this originally with his mom, and I said, you get the first hug, you're the mom. However, when I got to like the actual moment where they are released during family day in the all-weather facility that you go in. I'm talking about Paris Island, by the way. If you were in San Diego, I don't really know how it goes there. I don't know if it's the same thing, but this is for Paris Island. So for the eastern coast side. But we were up in bleachers, and with his grandparents, they obviously can't like run down the bleachers. So I was on the end, and I had a straight shot down to where they all were. I mean, I had to like jump over some chairs and like push some people aside, but it's fine. So I looked at his mom and I was like, are we gonna go? Like, can I go? And she goes, go ahead. So I literally run down and give him the biggest hug ever. I sadly don't have any pictures of it because no one was going as fast as I was, but it's fine. I have the memory, and it was the best hug ever. But yeah, so one thing that I really tried to do is I tried to not go in with any expectations of how I was supposed to feel, because I had no clue, and it was a very emotional day, and it's hard to try to balance their time, but just let them decide who they spend time, well, not who they spend time with, you're all in a group, but like how they are, let them lead and follow, because they've been down there for so long, they're comfortable where they are, and let them show you around, let them do all of that kind of stuff, and just try to be as supportive and just present as possible. Graduation is one of the most fun days. Well, like, yeah, because you get to bring them home. Basically, so you have graduation at like 9, you sit in the bleachers, you watch them do their graduation ceremony. All the bleachers are labeled so you know exactly where to sit. And you're sitting there for a while. So bring water, bring snacks, make sure your phone is charged, because Caitlin and I literally started doing a photo shoot. I will insert, again, pictures, because we were so bored. We were sitting there for like almost 2 hours in the sun. And then the sun finally went above the shade things that they have above the bleachers. But yeah, so that was cute. But then they do their graduation ceremony, and it's so cool. I will post the video that I made of me flying down for graduation and family day after I post this, so if you guys want to go watch that, you can. It's a video I made for him and his family, just like because I wanted to. This was before I had like a YouTube channel or anything. And so, but after that, they get released and you can run out onto the parade deck and hug them and take pictures, and they're all cheering and they're all taking pictures with each other. It's the first time, like one of the first times they've gotten to take pictures together. They get to take pictures on family day, but family day you really do just spend time with your family, and it's really like graduation. Like they all take pictures, they're all in their uniforms. I think they're in their just blue deltas. I don't know, Bravos, I don't know all the names, but here's a picture again. And so, but yeah, it was so much fun. And then you get to take them home. Like we literally, like, you put all their stuff in your car and then you get to go home. We ended up staying one more night, so that's a Friday. So we stayed that Friday and then left Saturday. But it was nice because we just got to chill. We went on a walk by our Airbnb. We could see the water. It was like so nice. So we just had a nice relaxing dinner at home, and because we like brought food to make down there, so we didn't have to like eat out. It was cheaper. And yeah, it was so good just to have that time with him. And then we drove home, the like 12 hours it took to drive back to Pennsylvania, which was awful. But anyway, we drove home and we got home Saturday, and then he got to say hi to all of his friends. And then on Sunday we went and had dinner with my family, and then he drove back to Lancaster and I had to drive back up to Rochester because I had class on Monday. I'd already missed 2 days of classes, and so I was like stressed. So yeah, but the 10 days that they have after graduation before they have to report to ITB or MCT, which is Marine Corps Training or Infantry Training Battalion, and all of that is within School of Infantry, SOI. Oh my god, the dog. The 10 days that they have at home, just let them do whatever they want to do. Don't set up anything, don't try to plan anything, because it goes by so fast, and just let them kind of gel, let them see who they want to see, spend time how they want to spend time, and just be there when you can. So Cameron ended up driving up to see me the next weekend so he could spend time with me, and then he had to report on October 1st back to ITV. But so we had a really nice weekend, just the two of us up here in Rochester, and it was so nice. It was just so nice to have that time together again. And then after that, we said goodbye. So sad. But I did get to see him in November for Thanksgiving. He got to surprise his family. But yeah, so I guess just overall, you know how you're gonna feel. You never know what's gonna happen. Just have confidence in your relationship and just enjoy every step of the process, because it's so empowering and it's so encouraging when you get through that and you get through the boot camp phase, because after that, it's not like smooth sailing, but that's probably the hardest part because there's absolutely no communication. But yeah, so I'm so thankful for the past like almost 8 months now of our Marine Corps journey. We have 3.5 more years. Oh my god. But yeah, it's crazy that it's already gone by so fast, and it will go by so fast. So cherish every part of the journey. It's all like, if you can get through it, you will come back, you will come out so much stronger than you were in the beginning. And yeah, just be there to support your Marine and make sure that they're supporting you, because they're not the only one who are struggling. It's really a balance, it's a give and a take, and no matter what happens, like, you will benefit from the process. You learn so much about yourself. I learned so much about myself. I got really good at being alone, and it taught me a lot about independence. And yeah, because I didn't have Cameron to like fall back on all the time, I really had to learn how to be good alone and be good on my own, because you don't have that person there all the time. So enjoy the time and that season of waiting. And just for me, I really found peace in God and my faith. My faith grew so much over that summer, and it was so uplifting and encouraging to see, and his did too. And yeah, we came out stronger than ever out of it. We had our 1-year anniversary when he was gone, so we celebrated that when he got home. But yeah, if you have any questions, comment below. We're saying that. Or DM me on Instagram. This is my Instagram, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. Yeah, so that is my little boot camp story time, I guess, advice and everything. So yeah, hopefully I'll be posting some more videos about my Marine journey, being a Marine girlfriend, all of that kind of stuff. I definitely have a lot to say about ITB, and once we get into the fleet, there's a lot to say about that. So video coming soon. Sorry if it got dark. It like literally started getting dark because it's almost 4. So yeah, anyway, please remember to like and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram. Make sure you turn on your notification bell so you know when I post a new video. It just helps me reach more people and spread my content to more lovely souls. So yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.